Okay. Hello. I was just remembering there's this other game I got a while, like a week ago, probably, called NiNoKuni. And if you're at all into mobile games or RPGs, you've probably seen a bunch of ads for it. And that's how I saw it. I saw an ad for it, I'm like, wow, that style looks really nice, because it reminded me of Legend of Zelda, because Breath of the Wild, because what do you know? Turns out this game is actually, like, the art is actually made by Studio Ghibli. Like, well, that was just enough for me to get it right away. So I just got it. And what do you know? It's not a good video game. It's very pretty, but the game is not there. And by what I mean by that is that you don't play it. The game plays itself. I'm not joking. The game just plays itself. So, like, you start out, the context is, this is why I, like, don't get all, like, the layers. The context is, you are a character in the real world who is entering a virtual world as a video game, right? We're going into a video game. And then there's so many things that don't make sense to me here, but just in the story alone, and then we'll get to the gameplay. I'll talk about the story first, and I'll tell you about the gameplay. So, the story, you enter the video game, and it's like a beta. Like, the context is, this is a video game, and you're testing out the beta. You know, it's sort of online, right? The context, it's very similar to that. But as you're testing out the beta, something goes wrong. It's like in the very first, like, minute or so. Like, you go in there, there's an NPC waiting for you in the sky, and it's like, hello, welcome to this game. And then there's a glitch, and a weird princess character appears, like, what? Who are you? And then, like, everything explodes or something, and you wake up in like a burning down city, and there's like a weird floating pig thing with you. Very anime-esque. It has like a gruff kind of voice, you know. So so instead of just like saying, okay, this is a video game, and just running with that, making like a video game in the video game, which I've been fine with, you know, I've been fun, I think. It decides to make a movie in the video game, right? And you're just playing through the movie, except you're not playing it. So, okay. So the first level, I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And it's like, the first level is like, okay, you're running through like this burning castle. Well, you run into town, and then like the castle explodes like a dragonfly. So I don't remember. It's been a while. I've everything about the game is so forgettable. Like, if the story was good, it wouldn't be. If the gameplay was good, I would probably remember the story. But neither of them are good, so I don't remember anything. But like the tower explodes or something, and the piggy thing, I don't remember his name, goes, oh no, the princess, and you gotta go rescue the princess. And so then you go and you fight your way through some guards, and that's the tutorial. And so I was like, okay, push this button to attack, push this button to use a special move. It's like, okay. I'm like, this is very forced, you know? I'm like, okay, then you go and you've gotta fight the bad guy, but you don't, because then the princess, she gives you like a magic crystal, and it teleports you out of there, because it's a very magic important crystal, which is what the bad guy was after. And then it teleports you out to a random hill, and now the game begins. I'm like, okay, now the game begins. But it doesn't, I think. And so then the pig goes, okay, look, there's that city over there. If you can get to it, it's got like a very cool name. It's like, I don't know what it's called, but it's a very cool name, you know. It's like, and I think the idea is it provides like the central hub for players, this city. So the pig goes, if we get to that city, we can ask the king and queen of that city to help our kingdom. And then everything's gonna be fine. It's like, okay, we'll go to that. That's the idea. So then, if the game tells you to tap on the quest, right, to activate it, and what do you know? It causes you to run towards the quest automatically. It just starts you running there. Like, you don't... And I'm like, okay, I guess we're just running there now. I'm like, maybe I wonder, and I'm just thinking the whole time, you know, when's the game gonna begin? You know, we've had a tutorial, and now is this just another cutscene? But no, it's worse than that, because then you get to like, you go into like a dark forest, right? And a whole bunch of like, I don't remember what kind of creatures they were appear, and they're incredibly memorable to me because I didn't kill them. My character killed them for me. That's what happened. Oh, what happened was you go in and like this character appears who just looks kind of normal, but from the conversations you can tell she's supposed to seem very suspicious and thief-like, you know, and untrustworthy, but she just looks like a completely normal person. And so, but like everyone else, like all the NPCs who talk to her, like, oh, who are you, you know? How can we trust you? Like, I don't think we should trust this vagabond. And she's just like a normal person. But you find her, and she's like, oh, I don't remember what she wants. And then you gotta fight a whole bunch of like a forest creatures, I think. And the character just fights them for you. I was like, can I play the game now? Like, I was like, oh, we gotta kill the forest creature. Okay, this is what happens. The piggy goes, we gotta kill the forest creature. I'm like, okay. And then my character starts murdering. I'm like, this is a very flashy scene. As I stand there waiting to play the game. It just plays the game for you. I don't understand who made that decision. Who thought like, yes, this is what they want. They want the best thing that kids want from video games is to watch somebody else play it. And so, yeah, then you go to like a tree, this magic tree who gives you an egg. And the egg hatches into like a companion, and that's pretty cool. I like companions. And then the girl joins you, you know, and then you get to the city. It's not quick. I thought there'd be like an adventure in between, but no, you just meet the girl and you get an egg and it hatches into a companion, and that's what happens. And then and then there's a few moments where I'm not on autoplay anymore, right? And it's like, okay, now like there's a cutscene with a tree, and the tree tells you something like you have 2 souls, I think. They don't explain that, but they mention it. And it's your turn to play, and the game tells you, go to talk to the pig thingy. And I'm like, no, I will not, and I run away. But there's nothing in the area to explore. There's nothing actually around, you know? So it's like, I just don't have a choice but to talk to the pig thing. And so then you get to the city, and there's a cutscene. It's very cutesy, you know? And this whole thing would be very placed in an actual movie, you know? That's where this would make sense. If this was an actual movie, it would be entertaining to watch, or a TV show, you know? But it's a game. And in a game, there's nothing more annoying than this tutorial character who keeps following me around everywhere. And so then you get into the city, and it's like, okay, now talk to Pigsy. And I run away across the city. But there's nothing there. There's nothing to do. It's not fun. And you see all the other players, but I don't think they're doing much either. Like, are they on autoplay too? I don't know. And so then you go, and you gotta like leave the quest unselected, because you select the quest and just run towards it. There was a period where I was attacking monsters. I don't remember when it was though. Like beyond the tutorial. After the tutorial, I did certainly do some attacking of my own. I just got bored. Like it's like a show that sometimes asks for input, you know, and the show itself isn't that good. So it's like, okay, I'm not gonna watch your show. I'm not gonna watch your Netflix interactive show, basically. It's not fun. It could be so good. All the characters look really cool. And also when you in the character selection screen, like you get the implication that every single one of them except for the engineer is like, except for the engineer and the barbarian, you get the impression all the other ones are like really interested in you romantically. It's like I chose the sword character because that was the guy on the box, you know. That was the guy on the box cover. But not necessary, you know. I chose the story character, but like when you select it, so the cool thing is during the character selection, the class selection, you just get there's like this really nice cutscene where all the classes, all the characters like run out of a house, and they all sit around like a picnic table, I think, or a fire or something, and the cutscene ends there, and you get to select each one of them, right? And when you select them, a short cutscene plays, where they do like their moveset, right? And then like say a line, right? And so it's whenever you select, there was like one girl where you hovered over and she was like, "You want to pick me?" And I'm like, "Not anymore, I don't." That was the rogue, who was an archer. No, was that the rogue? No, that was the mage. My bad, that was the mage. Then there's the swordsman who was like, "I'll be with you everywhere," or something like that. That doesn't sound so. It kind of, I don't remember what exactly it was, but when I heard it, I'm like, I'm not so sure I want to pick you anymore. I'm not picking a romantic interest. But maybe that's just like Japanese? Is that how Japanese people see things? I don't know. But I picked the swordsman because he looks cool, and I wanted to play like a typical Ghibli character. I then proceeded to completely destroy him in the character selection. This is a pretty in-depth, I mean, not super in-depth, but alright, you know, character creation screen after that, because then you pick your hair color and all that. The funny thing is you can also like pick facial features, which the facial features range from facial hair to tattoos, not both. I think at least. I just picked a mustache, but the funny thing is the mustache doesn't change color with your hair. That's funny. And so anyways, my character looks super ugly because he has a mustache. It's a really bad looking mustache. But yeah, so that character selection screen gave me really high hopes for the game. You know, that was really, that was like really cool. I don't think I've seen that before in like a cheap mobile game, you know, or in many games I've played, I think. Not like that, you know. And so that gave me the impression that it was gonna be a very different kind of game than it was. And it was like, now watch as the AI plays through a Ghibli movie. Except it's a bad Ghibli movie. Because it thinks it's a video game, you know. It feels so wrong. Like, this is Studio Ghibli, you know, or Ghibli, or whatever. It's got a GH, and I don't think you're supposed to say, I don't know. Studio Ghibli. This is Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli. Is it Ghibli or Ghibli? I don't know. I said Ghibli for a long time, then a lot of people said Ghibli, so I changed that. I'll be interchanging just to annoy you guys. Studio Ghibli. You know, like, when you hear something like, oh, this was made by Studio Ghibli, it's like, oh, so this is gonna be a game with a lot of focus on like the world around you and just kind of vibing. It's kind of what I thought would happen. No, it's like a cheap story with like any random JRPG plot, and then like several elements that don't seem to connect to each other. Like, did you forget that this takes place in a framework of this is a video game? Because I did. It doesn't like have any bearing on the plot. You know, once you're in the video game, it's like, and now you're in a fantasy world, go do that. And there's no meaning to the fact that it's a video game. You know, it's like, okay, if you're gonna make this a video game, then let it be a video game. If you're gonna make a story about a video game, then make the video game relevant. If the video game bit's not gonna be relevant, just make me a dude in the world. You know? It didn't need to be an isekai, you know? That's basically it, the magical other world. It doesn't need to be that, because the first world has no bearing on the magical other world. There's no reason for it to be that way. Can you tell I watched a lot of OSP, Overly Sarcastic Productions? You should watch Overly Sarcastic Productions. Anyways, this is what I was doing on my way home. I'm almost home now, so y'all stay safe. Stay safe, be happy, do what fulfills you in life. Find your sacred purpose and pursue that at all costs. Stay true to yourself, stay true to God. Do what you know is right. Yeah, and have yourselves a very good day. Goodbye.